What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I know it has been a terribly long time, but we are finally moved in to our brand new house that we built. It has been quite a journey. It's been frustrating in ways. It's been so rewarding in many other ways, and we still have a lot of work ahead of us. But as many people have told me, home ownership is a never-ending project, much like a project car. It's never really done, right? It's you may get to 99%, but you can never really get to 100 with a lot of things. So, but we're in. We are in the house. I moved us in. I filmed a portion of a video where we were moving out of the shop, and it was complete and total disarray. And now everything has its own place and we're settling down, but you know, like I said, still tons and tons of work ahead of us. But I wanted to give you guys this introduction before we run into the rest of the video. And so the rest of the video is going to be our Import Alliance preparation videos, and I genuinely meant to upload those videos before we actually left for Import Alliance, but literally, and I can't make this up, as soon as we got back, we started moving. We got back from Atlanta, got back home, and then the next day we were in our new house. I had moved all of our essential items and we got everything moved in here. So we've got all of this wide open space now for Axel to run around and have a good time. And I know you guys have not seen him in a long time, but like I said, still tons and tons of work left to do, but we will get there. So please enjoy the rest of this video. It's going to be a kind of a compressed version of everything that I did to prep the RSX for Import Alliance.
Okay, we're starting off 2024 in just the exact right way, and we are going to be continuing working on the RSX and getting it to be as good as we can before the Atlanta Import Alliance meet. We are going to be continuing something that I haven't really filmed much of, if anything, but it's something that I wanted to document at least just in case this becomes like a question later on. So let me grab everything real quick. So we got the RBC right here, and I have painted it. I painted it in non-engine paint, so don't hang me on that. Orion gray gloss, and so this is kind of the color that I wanted to go with initially. So basically what happened was I painted this and then got the flu. So this has sat and cured for a long time, but something I wanted to show you is this guy right here. This is a Skunk 2 Pro Series throttle body, 74mm. I've got a K-tuned block off port. I thought about painting that black, but I can't be bothered at the moment. I have got a MPC Motorsport idle air control valve block off. I've got an Acuity TPS. I've got the adapter thing, so we're gonna have to go ahead and calibrate it just like we did with the old one. I'm gonna try and actually just do that before I install it. Like, I think I can just go out there and plug this up and then maybe calibrate it beforehand, because it's a little bit easier to do it with it off the car, or at least it would be if it works. I don't see why it wouldn't work. I don't understand why it would necessarily have to be mounted to the car. I think it's just typical, because that's how you would normally install these, is that would already be on the car. So I'm going to try and calibrate it before that. If it doesn't work, I'll let you know, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But none of this is new. None of this is new. It's what I wanted to show you guys is this guy right here. This is something that I fabbed up, me and Shane did. This is what it comes with. Pretty much every single aftermarket throttle body is a single wheel system. Now, a factory Honda unit from, you know, earlier, like 2006 and earlier, is cable driven throttle, and everything newer after that is electronic throttle body, which, you know, it used to be crap. Now it's an extremely nice thing to have, because, you know, with tuning and everything, they just work really well these days. Back then, people hated them. You know, back in the mid 2000s, it was an atrocity. But nonetheless, you can't buy an aftermarket throttle body that incorporates cruise control. Now, you know, most people, I don't like making excuses about stuff, but to be totally fair, I broke my ankle a little over 10 years ago now, and it's my right ankle, and it gives me problems from time to time. So I mean, long story short on that scenario is that I really like having cruise control. Like it helps me out on really long road trips where my ankle can get sore and stiff, and if we're all cruising on the interstate, I, pop on cruise control, and my leg gets a break from that. It's not like a detrimental kind of thing. Like, I can still drive without cruise control, but it's just a amenity that I don't want to have to live without if I can keep from it. You know what I mean? This is just a K-series generic throttle body cable bracket that you can buy on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description or something. But I bought 2 of them. I lopped one side of it off and welded it to the top of it because this is how it's shaped. The only thing that's aftermarket on this is these 2 portions. And so we welded that on, I grinded it down, I painted it to make it look as decent as it could, I guess. I could have done a better job with that, but this is what I want to show you. So what I'm going to attempt to do is retain cruise control on my RSX while utilizing an aftermarket throttle body to help, with some issues. And plus this will help with boost and things like that in the future too. And everything, it's going to be fresh and new. Everything on the car is pretty much new except for the throttle body as far as the engine bay and stuff is concerned. So I just wanted something new, and I went with Skunk 2 because, pretty reputable brand, and everything fits on it really, really nice, and it's just a really nice piece. Next thing is that, well, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, Brandon, that's all well and good, but that 74mm throttle body, if you're going to be using an RBC intake manifold from Honda, it's not going to work that great because, it's bigger. Well, it's not. Not anymore. So I have ported my RBC intake manifold I gasket matched it to the adapter plate that you have to buy from Skunk to attach this to the RBC manifold. If you have a Skunk 2 Ultra intake manifold, this will bolt right to it. You don't have to worry about an adapter. So the adapter goes to 72, I think, which is fine. But it tapers down. You're not going to hit a hard wall. It's not like going to be like, oh yeah, the mouth is 74 mil, but this was only like, I don't even know, 62 or something like that. But what I did was I took a 3-inch, which 3-inch, coincidentally is about 74 to 76 millimeters or something like that. And I took a 3-inch sanding wheel, and I wrapped a zip tie around it and cinched it down and got it into the throat of the RBC and cut the zip tie off and just reamed it around. I'll post a picture or a video here.
So I'm just matching the RBC to this gasket as best I can. And fun little trick. You can pick up one of these 3-inch discs from like Home Depot or something. But once you get it in there and you just let this thing rip for a little while, what you end up with is a pretty nicely machined hole, honestly. And cool because it's a circle. So, but yeah, I mean, a little bit of fine tuning left to go, but seriously, maybe 20 minutes of work, honestly, just letting that thing rip and just not breathing in any of this aluminum dust that comes out. But yeah, obviously RBC is going to need a good wash after the fact, but nothing we haven't done before. So, but yeah, I mean, really smooth, nice surface, like no turbulent air is going to have any issues with that. So yeah, real pleased.
I just thought this would be really, really good info to have because I was like, you know what? Seemed like a good idea, and it ended up working really, really well. And I got pretty much a perfect hole, which would be difficult to do if you're just using a Dremel. I mean, people have done it with a Dremel, but that literally about 30 minutes and I was done, like just in and out, making it as nice as I could. Sharpie with the gasket on there, to gasket match it perfectly. So what we're going to be doing right now is I'm going to be attaching everything, seeing if it lined up good. So let's do that. I've been waiting to do this for a while, still just kind of getting over from being sick. So I literally have not touched this thing in a quick minute. And I know you guys are telling me or something like that. It's like, you already have a adapter, don't you, for the RBC? Yeah, I do. I just wanted a Skunk one because it'll match. That's really it. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. I'm going to do my best here, but that looks pretty damn good, if you ask me. I mean, like, it's smooth. It's a smooth transition all the way around. I'm not getting any nicks or burrs or anything. And that's really all I wanted. I just wanted like a really smooth transition. This is going to mate up perfectly to the throttle body, and that's going to bolt up, and it's just going, when the throttle cracks open, it's not going to hit any walls. It's just going to have a really, really nice velocity going in. I think that's going to be a lot better than it would be stock. Yeah, this is going to be really cool. But like I said, biggest thing is I want to see if this cruise control bracket is going to work with the plan that I have, because I know you guys have a lot of questions. I'm going to answer all those questions in this video, because I have methods of attaching the cables correctly and everything. So yeah, let's get started on that. Very tight. We have got the RBC installed back on the car. All the bolts are tight, so everything's good. We still got a few things left to do, like fuel line and all that stuff, but right now, since we're installing the Skunk 2 throttle body, we're about to anyway, it deletes the evap purge solenoid off of the stock throttle body, because obviously it's not there anymore. What you have to do is we got to go into K-Pro, and we'll cover that once we get to that point. We're going to go ahead and delete all this vacuum tubing that's no longer going to be here. So I'm just going to go straight back here to the firewall, and I'm going to delete it here, and I'm just going to cap that port off. I'm going to do a better job at deleting the rest of the system later down the line. Cannot wait to get that AC line out of here. There we are. I believe we're pretty much ready to install the throttle body. So we'll get that in, and we will calibrate the Acura TPS, and we will bring you guys along with us. All right, so I've got the Acura TPS calibrated. I'm going to check it again once we get everything installed. Hopefully this will mitigate all the problems that we've been having with our throttle surging and everything like that. So all right, I don't want to tighten it down all the way. I want to get all the bolts started, make sure the gasket isn't pinching. Okay, there we go. Wes, this is too close. We need to remove that. We need to get rid of that. All right, so we got the throttle body completely installed. I am going to do one final check on our calibration here to make sure that everything's good. We're looking for 0.48. I think technically you can get somewhere between 0.45 to 0.49 or 0.50 technically, but 0.48 is, I think, factory Honda. So let's see. So your red goes in the middle no matter what. I can't always remember which probe is the ground one, but it's one of the outside ones. So let's see. So we're at 0.48, as you can see. So that is perfect. So you can calibrate it off of the car, which I wanted to do because with my previous experience, doing it on the car was kind of difficult on the RSX, you know, but I didn't realize this, but the Skunk 2 Pro Series throttle body actually moves the TPS out a little bit in a much better position, so it's actually not that hard to get to like it was on the factory stuff. So do it whichever way you want, but it is installed. So now we're going to get everything else buttoned back up, like the throttle cable and a couple of the vacuum lines, and we're going to start it and open up K-Pro and get everything tuned the way it needs to be. Okay, so we've installed everything, we got everything buttoned backed up, and we're in the car, and we've got K-Pro running. In order to read the TPS correctly, all you have to do is go to the throttle setting in your tune, and then come down here to your minimum and maximum reading. Without touching the throttle at all, you're gonna click read, and then that'll load that, and then you're gonna push your throttle all the way down to full throttle, and then click read, and it's gonna give you these values, and then you just save that as your calibration and upload that to K-Pro. For your purge solenoid, to disable that, you go over here to miscellaneous, and then you come down here where it says purge system enabled, you want to make sure you uncheck that if it's checked. And then you're going to save this as a calibration, then upload it to your ECU. I actually thought about buying a Ultra intake manifold, but they don't come 74 millimeter either. Like, and like, I mean, really the only thing is that I would have been able to get away without using an adapter. But I mean, it really wasn't worth it that much to me, to be honest with you. And the performance gain you get from it is negligible compared to the RBC. I mean, you'll get something. I know, like, you will get something, but for the money, they're like, I don't know, $500 or something like that. And just for what you get, it just didn't seem worth it to me. Like, it's $600 and I'm about to boost the RSX and force air down its throat, you know. It is what it is.
Man, I saw a video this morning.
Yeah.
No! No!
All right, so some time has passed. I wasn't able to get everything done the other day, but we're back out here. So I just installed the throttle bracket that Skunk 2 provided. So we are going to be throwing on my custom-made, hopefully will make my cruise control work, throttle bracket. So let's get the throttle cables and everything loosened up. This might work perfectly. What we have here is the throttle cable is considerably longer than the cruise control cable, which is a good thing for us right now. So we have the single wheel of the Skunk 2 throttle body, and the solution that I have here is I'm going to take this wire. It is 304 stainless steel, and I can't remember the diameter. I'll look it up, but essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie on to the throttle cable and then connect the cruise control cable to it using this wire and crimping them together. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but we're going to give it a try since we have to go in a single line and all that. But I'm hoping that once this is all said and done, when I activate the cruise control, it'll function as it should. So we're going to give that a shot. So I'm going to tie on to the throttle cable first and get that back in place, so that way I know it's not going to hang up or anything weird. And then I'll connect it to the cruise control cable and get everything installed the way it needs to be. It's a little finicky, but it's not hanging up on anything. See, Wes, hit full throttle again, buddy. See, it pops out, but it's not going anywhere. It's not snagging anything, so that's great. So I'm going to get everything cleaned up here. Sorry for the wind. And we're going to hit the road. So let's do that. Yeah, okay. So it's been some time since that all happened. So, you know, I was really hoping that retrofitting a cruise control system to a Skunk 2 Pro Series 74mm throttle body with all the Gucci stuff that I put on it would suffice, and I would be able to enjoy it, and the car would work well, and I wouldn't have to worry about it. I did worry about it though. Only reason is because, you know, it's not a super long drive to Atlanta from here, but this is going to be the longest trip where I have my very young daughter with me. You know, she's 3, about to turn 4, and I've been trying to make the car as you know, comfortable for her as possible. I put in one softer engine mount. I got the suspension set to all soft. I got all the scraping and scrubbing to stop. I got the AC hopefully fixed. We will see. And I have very limited time. And like I said, it's been some time since I filmed those videos that you guys just saw, or what short parts of it I would have shown you just now. Because we are days away from our departure to the Atlanta Import Alliance meetup. We're leaving on Friday, and today is Monday. So, with all that being said, I'm hoping by the end of today, maybe early tomorrow morning, we'll be able to start the car again and do some testing and driving, because currently the car has no throttle body on it. It's gone. It is completely gone. I bought that Skunk 2 74mm throttle body and I loved it. I thought it was great. You know, parts of me wish I still had it. But I put a post on the RSX forums on Facebook, or page, whatever, same difference, and searching for a very specific throttle body that would suit my needs of performance and convenience. A hybrid racing 74mm throttle body that includes 2 wheels, one for the cruise control and one for the throttle cable itself. So, short story, I put a post out on the forums, like I said, on Facebook, and I just said, hey guys, I'm going to try one more time, because I have been trying to find one of these for years, and when I say years, I mean years. I don't know what year hybrid racing stopped making these things, and I'm sure they've had their own slew of issues and everything like that, and they probably had their reasons for stopping the manufacturing of these throttle bodies, but they were the only aftermarket throttle body manufacturer that allowed the RSX chassis, the DC5 chassis, to retain cruise control. It's been the Ark of the Covenant for me. And if I would have known that they were going to stop making these things and that they would be highly sought after and very valuable, I would have bought 10 of them 10 years ago. And I had one guy that was a real person messaging me, but he sent me pictures of this thing, said it worked great and everything, and he offered to just do a trade. So I said, yeah, I'm down. You know, I'm tired of you know, waiting. It was one of those things where it was just like, you know what, you know, I've had these come up in the past where people were willing to sell them to me, or they came up on eBay or some forum post or something like that where they were willing to sell or part ways with it. And I just said, no, I'll wait, no, I'll wait, no, I'll wait. Well, this was the time I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm doing it. And a couple days later, this shows up at my doorstep. Now, some of you have already noticed the problem. I mean, yes, it functions, like it works. It is a throttle body, and it opens, and it's got 2 wheels. Well, the problem is that you see these 2 screws right here? They come through right there, and they pop out on the other side. You know, they don't look like they're actually doing anything. That's because they're not. What they are for is another bracket, because the RSX has 2 cables. It has the throttle cable that's connected to your pedal physically, and then it's got a cruise control module that also has a cable that is connected to the throttle body physically. You need 2 of these. It comes out, it's supported here, bolted here, and it supports itself on the top as well, and it comes out and it sits about here-ish, a little bit closer to the wheel, because the cruise control cable is slightly shorter than the throttle cable. So what I needed this thing for, more than anything, it cannot do, because I am missing this bracket. He didn't know. I'm not knocking the guy. I'm not going to tell you his name or anything like that. I mean, I'm still good friends with him at this point. You know, we have a lot in common, and we talked a lot, and he was very apologetic. He didn't realize he didn't have cruise control. His module was either broken or he removed it on his RSX, and he's had, you know, Type R conversion type stuff, and he's done all these things where, you know, he just never utilized cruise control. Whereas I would not say that I have a medical condition, but I do have a medical problem that, you know, makes it extremely, it makes me want to have cruise control if it's available. But I also want the larger throttle body, so that way it's got a bigger throat for when we boost and all this stuff. You guys have heard this story before. It was not, I'm not blaming him for it. He didn't know, but now I have to find this bracket. So I searched and searched and searched, and I didn't have any real luck finding it. But I found this. This is a brand new 74mm hybrid racing throttle body that retains cruise control. I spent a lot of money on this thing. A lot of money. because it's brand new. And you know, some of you may think, oh, brand new. No. It's brand new. The box is a little worse for wear. Here's the box. It did not come in this, by the way, but he sent me the box. But you can see, you can barely read it right there. Hybrid Racing 74mm throttle body. I got the box. I got the paperwork, thermal gasket. I got all the little bits and bobs and the mounting screws and the vacuum tube, and actually that's for the idle air control valve if you're gonna run it. And I got all the stuff. And if you look, I know you're not gonna be able to see this on camera, you're just gonna take my word for it. I might have pictures here and there, but you can tell that this thing's been used because it has witness marks where the mounting bolts have been torqued down onto the intake manifold. This one, however, has no witness marks from where any bolts have been torqued down for this to be mounted up to. This thing is brand new. It's even got the paint pen marks on every screw that the boys at Hybrid torqued down and then marked to make sure that they torqued everything down. And this is also a newer one because if you look, the Hybrid Racing logos here, this one's turned, you know, I would say the correct way, and this has the green coloration to it on the 74 with the HR on it. This one is like a first generation where the Hybrid Racing is facing the other way over here on this side, and there's no coloring to the 74mm portion of it. And the actual throttle blade on this one actually says Hybrid Racing on the bottom side, whereas this one just says 74 on the top, and it's just kind of engraved into the butterfly. And also this one's a little worse for wear. It's kind of been through the ringer, and it's a little rusty on the bracket, stuff like that. So it's clearly been used. Whereas this one has very clearly not been installed on a vehicle before. And yeah, I had to throw a little WD-40 on it here and there. You know, I don't want to say anything bad about Hybrid. You know, I think they do make good products and everything like that, and I've got a lot of products of theirs on my car, but you know, there is some surface rust on like mainly on this spring. The interior one's not too bad, but the return spring for the cruise control, I may have to disassemble that and clean that up later on a later date. But regardless of that, I have the thing that I have been searching for a very long time, and I'm sorry that this video has dragged on as long as it has. I'll try to cut it down, but I just wanted to I wanted to show you guys this because this was a very precious part, a very crucial part to the overall build of this car, and this is something that I have sought after, and it, you know, it's coveted, and it's almost like just it's such a rare part, you know, and everyone seems to, you know, kind of agree that, you know, this thing is just worth what it's worth, and everyone kind of wants one, and now I have two. And so long story short, on this bracket, I'm gonna just take this one off at some point, and I'm gonna get a metal fabrication shop to just duplicate this for me, whether it's through a CNC machine. I've talked to a couple companies about that, where they'll make it out of aluminum and then it can't possibly rust, or just, you know, cut one out of steel, just make some bends and stuff like that. But now that we have one, we can get some dimensions and measurements, and we can duplicate this, and then I will have two fully functioning Hybrid Racing throttle bodies. And I've got a couple K-Series engines knocking around, and so I'll have multiple of these and extra parts, and you know me, I like having spares of everything. It's just nice to have. So I hate that I have to basically scrap all the Skunk 2 throttle body stuff that I worked so damn hard on, but I am so happy and lucky to have this guy right here, and it's gonna live on this car for as long as possible. Like I do not see a reason for me ever taking this thing off. Now 74 millimeters is not the biggest throttle body in the world, but to go on a car that's going to see some track time, but mostly street driving, this is going to be just the icing on the cake with this build once it's boosted and it's got the K24 and it's going to be able to breathe better and everything, and the throttle response is hopefully going to be there. There may be some kinks we have to work out with this thing considering it's brand new but still old. I mean, it's a very old part at this point. But I'm going to go through and make sure all these bolts are still good and tight, and we are going to get this bad boy installed on the RSX just in time to make the trip down to Imported Lines. So, not going to bore you guys anymore. Let's throw this bad boy on. All right, y'all, so I've got everything attached except for one thing. I've got my MPC Motorsport idle air control valve block-off plate installed. If you can somehow find one of these complete, it'll probably come with this fitting. All it does is go here to the idle air control valve. Obviously I'm not running it, so I don't have to run that. You don't have to put anything here. You don't have to plug it. There's nothing. It doesn't go anywhere because this plate's here. And Hybrid actually sends, well, I'll show you. They send these 4 plugs. They send 2 that you can plug in right here, so you don't actually have to run a plate. You can just run these 2 plugs right here. And then you also install these 2 plugs here. It's kind of just like a safety feature, like, you know, if these were to fall out or fail or something, these 2 will probably stay. So you can run those. I am going to choose not to install them because, you know, these cannot go anywhere because this block-off plate is here. I guess, you know, you could run these if you want to with this at the same time. I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to run this. It worked fine with the Skunk 2 one. So I am ready to install it. I've also got my Acuity TPS. I know the utter, I'm probably going to hell or something. I don't know how that works, but I've got the Acuity TPS, so I've got to recalibrate that obviously. And then the trifecta, I've got the K-tuned map port block off plug here, and I've also got the K-tuned purge solenoid block off on the way. So we got all 3 of them. We got K-tuned, we've got hybrid, we've got Acuity. It's all going to make the RSX run great, I hope. So I'm going to go ahead and install it, and then if I want to start the car, I just got to plug this. Hybrid also sends a plug. This one doesn't have them, but the Hybrid also sends a plug that you can plug in right here. But I'd rather have one that's more easily removable than the ones that they send. They're just like little plugs that go in here and then a little clip. I like the K-tuned ones. I think these are going to be fine, you know. So yep. So at this point, I'm going to offer up the throttle body to the car and get it bolted up. I don't think I necessarily have to, but I'm still running the Skunk 2 adapter plate. If it doesn't line up perfectly for some reason, which I don't know why it would, but if it doesn't line up for some reason, then I'll just take this off and bolt it straight to the RBC, because I'm pretty sure it will just bolt straight to the RBC. So well, we're going to give that a shot. Okay, it is on. It's officially bolted up to the car, and like I said, all I have to really do is, well, get everything plugged in that needs to be plugged in, but really I just have to tune this up and get it calibrated. I am so happy.
Well, I mean, because like you basically needed that whenever you turboed anyway.
Yeah.
You need 74 mil somehow.
Yep.
And that's the best way.
Yep.
Holy shit.
I know.
We have to recalibrate the TPS.
Have to recalibrate it, but it's there. And we're also going to be installing these brand new Voodoo 13 lower control arms
on the RSX today.
So we've got the Blocks Racing subframe collars. So we're going to install these in the RSX, and where the controversy comes in is, okay, Wes, hit me with that cold start.